Hey, what's up, guys? This is a follow-up from my last video where I lifted this thing. Currently we have Bilstein 5100s up front set to 1.75, standard size tires. And in the back we have a 1-inch corn-fed spacer with the stock springs. I put this on about 30,000 miles ago, and it just seems like the rear end is dipping down a little bit more now. I kind of want the forward rake, but right now it almost looks like it's leaning back a little bit. Getting tired of that look, so I looked these up. Bilstein, what are these? The B12 Special. And they should add about 1.5 inches to the rear. Currently it's, you know, a spacer that's 1 inch, so theoretically this should lift her up about an extra 1/2 inch in the back. So let's do some measurements. Right now, bottom of the wheel well is right at 37.5. So let's lift her and see what it gives us. Alright. Most of this video, I'm just going to do it as a time lapse. There's plenty of in-depth videos on how to do this online, so don't mind me if I'm quiet. By the way, I have some airbags. I forget exactly which ones they are, but I will be transferring these over as well. Did I run the line again? Yeah, it feeds under there. So, yep, that's one more consideration for this job. If you look closely in there, you can see where the line comes through. So, that'll add a couple extra minutes to the job, but I really want to keep those on the new setup as well. $12 and $14 for the sway bar. Alright, looks like the one up top. It's a 19 millimeter. This is for Bilstein 5100s. It's a different size for stock. I'm going to opt to use spring compressors. It's just easier. Make sure it's smooth in and out of there. So I'm such a loser. I should have just fought to get that out first. I'll probably edit out all that of the video where I just fucked around with it for way too long. It's been so long since I installed these guys, I forgot exactly how it all worked, but there's just that little tiny clip right there that holds it on. Pretty cool that that's all it needs to hold. So I will just remove that. Finally. God dang. Whoops. That will scratch up your floor. Oh no. Alright, let's see if I can get these little bastards out of here. Dude, that thing's really in there. Oh god. I forgot how much of a bitch these things are. I hope you guys enjoy watching me struggle with this fucker. Probably should have just bought new ones. That's another $100. I'm not trying to spend all the money on the 4Runner. I just want the ass end to be a little bit taller. know it sounds cliche, but I thought about going with the TRD Pro suspension. I kind of want a nice soft suspension for off-roading. Out here in Vegas, there's a lot of really washboard dirt roads, and sometimes these Bilsteins are a little too thick. Sorry, not too thick, too stiff. You're going to start to lose control if you go over 35, 40 miles an hour. Seems like the better dampening of the Fox would probably make it a little more under control, a little more enjoyable. So I don't know. I see a lot of bros buy brand new TRD Pros and then immediately take off that super expensive suspension and resell it. So if you are listening and you are thinking about doing that and you're in the Vegas area, let me know. I might pick them up off you. I wouldn't mind mixing it up. It's so close. God, I forgot how much of a bitch this thing is. Look at that. Easy. Just kidding, that was not easy. So, one consideration for the corn fed goes like that. So, here's the stock springs with a 1-inch corn fed spacer. I hacked the bump stop because I have those airbags in there. This is a little bit concerning though, because they look exactly the same height. So now I'm having my doubts as to whether or not this will actually lift her up anymore. But either way, something I've been wanting to do for a long time. Alright. Other concern, when you get these 1-inch spacers from corn fed, I think the driver's side is a little bit thicker than the passenger side to compensate for the weight of the vehicle, and it's supposed to level it out. With these springs, they're the exact same. So I'm starting to think we're going to end up with the driver's side lean. There's a lot of info online about that. A lot of people buy some small silicone spacers to put on top of the bump stop to compensate. I'm just going to throw them in here like this for now, see if we have a lean, deal with that when the time comes. Because I obviously enjoy lifting my vehicle and doing this over and over. Just kidding. I like their writing they got on there. It's subtle. I never even tow. I don't even need these damn things. I have a brake controller and these, and a transmission cooler. I never tow. But just in case. What if one day I want to? Okay. I'm gonna call that good enough. So that one, as you can see, is higher than the spring itself. So it's really posing us here. Jesus. forgot to put on the bump stop. God damn it. Make sure you put the bump stop back on. Don't be an idiot. Trying to show you guys what's going on here. Just gotta push this tube, the barbed inlet. The little clamp is pretty much toast. I think it's actually just making it harder. Yeah, there's nothing to actually grab onto to open the clamp. So I'm just gonna push it on there and hope for the best. I know there's better ways to do this. Man, this part of the job really makes it more difficult. I'm gonna have to use these airbags just to justify their existence. I guess I have used them a few times. When we did a camping trip and we loaded up the vehicle with 4 people, a dog, a whole bunch of, you know, we had 2 coolers, we had a roof tote full of all of our camping equipment. So dude, we had so much weight in this vehicle and it would have been sagging bad, but I aired these things up. The only thing is, with my previous setup, it actually lifted the ass end pretty much up to where I want it right now. So it was probably half an inch taller than it sits normally. And that's one of the ways I kind of got this idea that I wanted to lift it some more. Yeah, the problem with the airbags though is it stiffens up the ride so much because all the pressure from the vehicle is just being absorbed by these. They do great. They do really good, but you feel it. I'm gonna check my stash quick, see if I have something to replace those clamps that'll make this easier. So my wife calls me a hoarder. I just call it being prepared. Here's the original tubing and stuff that I got whenever I did the install. And here are some of those replacement clamps. Whenever you buy this airbag system, it gives you the option to either run one line and tee it off. What I did instead was I ran 2 lines. They're all wrapped back here. And I installed the, where you air it up is right here, down by the trailer plugs. Thought it was a pretty clever spot. I just got a whole bunch of dust in the microphone. Let's see what that does. So I'm going to take this off, remove this clamp. Alright, I think I got it. Another consideration when you put the new springs in, make sure you turn them to the right, clockwise, until the bottom, basically this guy right here, lines up with the notch. Make sure that's centered. Oh, yeah, dude, it's already got pressure on it, so I think this is gonna work. Alright, welcome back. I had to pause the video and charge my camera because it turns out I only have 1 battery. So, I just got the new one installed here. Now I'm hooking up the airbag again. Let's see. This side was arguably a little bit easier, but it might have just been because it's my second one of the day, so I knew more or less what I was doing. I should have said at the beginning of the video, I am not a professional. I'm just some dude who likes to work on the 4Runner. Such an easy vehicle, so simple. I think the hardest part of this whole job was just getting the damn airbag in there. Now I gotta twist this so that this lines up with the stopper over here. So of course it's exactly 180 off. So that seems a little bit of pressure. Wow, I thought I just got a lot more than that. Okay. Drop this a little more. This side is a little bit harder for getting the shock undone because this piece right here is in the way. The other side I was easily able to get my wrench in there, but this side you just can't, so you actually have to do it old school manual. Now I'm going to air up those airbags, see if they actually work before I close this thing up. So I'll get back to you guys. Alright, got it all installed, buttoned back up, tightened those up, put the brake line back on, and let's see if we can get a good shot in here. Yeah, I got these guys aired up. I did have a leak to address on the driver's side, but it's all good now. Make sure that it's seated. Make sure it's sitting right up top. And this side, yeah, good. I'm sure that gets squished whenever all this gets pushed, you know, once it all sits back down. But yep, that's seated right there. I went ahead and adjusted my brakes while I was in here too, my parking brake. If you've never done it before, there's lots of videos online. Put a flathead screwdriver through there, twist a little dial, tightens them up, and it looks like that's the appropriate amount of tension. We'll see how that panhard bar is sitting after this lift. I might end up doing that next. That's all the craze right now. In fact, the no weld one has been sold out for a while now. So we'll see. Might be further down the road. I haven't experienced too much of the rear end jump, but we'll see with these new springs. All right, time lapse time. I'm gonna put this all back together. Oh, one more thing. Here are the driver's side and passenger side. Let's see if I can get this camera low enough. As you can see, the driver's side is, I don't know, 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch taller. To offset the weight, and like I said, these springs are exactly the same on both, so a little bit worried about it, but we'll figure that out when the time comes. Ooh. Alright, so she's sitting at 38.5. That's a whole inch higher than it was before. I'm sure it'll settle a little bit as I drive it. So I'm gonna get this all buttoned up, drive it around, remeasure, see how it goes. Alright, here we go, the final product. Dude, that lifted the rear end a lot. Now I'm almost concerned that it's too high. But I really like the forward rake. And before it was level slash almost leaning back. I just like the forward rake. I know not the most popular opinion. Most people want it straight up level. But after driving her around, sitting at 38 1/4. So stock springs with corn fed are 37 1/2. So Bilstein B12s, B12? Yeah, that's what they are, is 38 3/4. So it's an additional 3/4, I'm sorry, 38 1/4. So it's an additional 3/4 of an inch lift. That's pretty surprising. It does feel a little different on the roads. I would say it actually feels a little looser. It's not quite as tight. I guess there's more spring to play with, so it's going to have more move, more give. We'll see. You know, typically as you drive these around, they loosen up a little bit, and it might drop down in the rear a little bit more. But you know what? I'm pretty happy with this. I do prefer this look over the 1-inch spacer. Let's go around back and see if there's any visible lean. Yeah, I think there is. I think it's leaning a little bit towards the passenger side, which is the opposite of what it should be. Let me do a measurement over there quick. Anyway, I'm actually imagining things. The other side is at 38 1/2. So the other side, the passenger side, is actually 1/4 of an inch taller than the driver's side. Again, I'm going to drive it around for, I don't know, a few thousand miles. See how it settles. I can do a little lean. I don't care. Let's check out the panhard. It's still pretty freaking level. It's not that bad at all. It's hard to tell from this angle. I have to drop the spare to really see, but it's almost level. I don't know. I'll probably still do that correction anyway. But one more look. Alright. It's pretty. I like it. Hope this helps.